Yo, yo, yo. What up, great people in all the land? It's your guy, Nicholas Wilcox. It's your guy, Johnny Main. You know what it is. Your favorite fantasy football homeboys in the building. It's week 4, the Fantasy Football Show. DFS, props, bets, starts and sets, all in one place. If you ain't liked the video yet, please do so. If you're joining us on Twitter/X, on Facebook, please join us on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe to the channel. We're trying to build the community. If you ain't following us on these platforms, please do so as well before we dive into the games. Jack, how are we feeling this morning?
Feeling like a man who's, running a rat race, bouncing from fire to fire. But, we're here. We're up early in the morning watching the Pittsburgh Steelers put that work in for sure. So feeling good about that, man. Feeling good about what we got going on for DFS. So I'm super excited about today, man. Super excited.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're definitely excited right now. Currently, the Steelers are up 14-3 and driving once again in Germany. Basically a home game because of the kind of Steelers fans out there today.
When is it never a home game on the road for the Steelers is the question I ask.
That really is the question because, Steelers fans are definitely nationwide. Sometimes, in this case, internationally known.
To rock a microphone.
Yeah. Not Freddie Tiffany, but,
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? But, hey, you ain't the only one with puns sometimes. But we're going to get right into the games, folks. Again, if you're joining us on X, please join us on YouTube, the Fantasy Football Show, or Johnny O'Marabell. Join his YouTube. Give him a shout out as well. Again, I'm going to drive right into this. First game, we're going to start with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Philadelphia going into Tampa Bay. Currently, line is -3.5. Philadelphia going into Tampa, Florida. Over under 44.5. Johnny, kick us off to this game. You think Philly struggles when they go into Tampa? There was talk about them going down there a little earlier so they get used to the humidity, because obviously if you've been in Florida before, that's swampish heat, man. It's really it does feel really nasty. And Philly has not done well under Nick Sirianni going into Tampa. So what do you say about this game, Johnny, in general?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think this is one of those weird games. You already kind of touched on it. It's been tough. The Eagles haven't had a lot of good luck against the Bucs, just in recent history. And this is one of those situations potentially where styles make fights. In one area specifically for the Eagles that they've been really good at, that they haven't been crushing it at specifically this year, has been in the run game on the defensive side of the ball. And then Bucky Irving, obviously we all know, fantasy managers all know what it is with him, right? He's done okay. I think he left us really, really excited at the end of last year, but we are, obviously we're easing into week 4 now. So I like Bucky Irving in this matchup here today. Obviously no Mike Evans, Chris Godwin seen Mecca Ibuka out there crushing the game and decided to do his best Booby Miles impression and, come back a little bit earlier because old Waterbug was out there doing his thing, Mecca Ibuka. So, yeah, I think that's one thing I'm looking at in this game is Philadelphia's run defense, and do they show up to play today against Bucky Irving? Another thing I'm looking at too, our guy, man, Saquon Barkley, 4 straight games dating back from the Super Bowl where he has not eclipsed 100 total yards from scrimmage. So I think that's something else just to kind of keep an eye on. My guy, A.J. Brown, finally decided to show up to the party last week. Man. Yeah, well, hey, man, better late than never. Yeah, better late than never. And then from the DFS side of the world, obviously we'll get to that. Not a lot of people playing a lot of players in this game. Bucky Irving is the highest owned player so far at this point, coming in at almost 10% owned as far as DraftKings go. And then on the Philadelphia side, A.J. Brown at 9%. So I'm very interested to see right now. It's a projected. I looked at, you got 44.5 up here. So typical game. And then Baker Mayfield, right? I think we know, man, it seems like with this guy, man, the harder you punch him, the better he plays. So it should be interesting. But fun fact, I'm actually going to be doing my picks live today because I didn't get a chance to do them this morning. So
let's go. We're doing it live.
You're doing it live. Right now, I know the Eagles have struggled against the Bucs, but I'm going to take the Eagles on the road, man. I'm going to take them on the road today. against the Bucks straight up. So give me the Eagles here. So yes, I love this. We're doing this live. This is money, man. Money.
I know, right? So a few things to note about this game in general, like for historical purposes. Todd Bowles, Bucks defense has somewhat just been a kryptonite to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts 1 of 4 against Tampa Bay since 2021, including those playoffs. Obviously, you remember that playoff run a couple of years ago where they got shellacked in Tampa, and it was an abrupt end to their playoff hopes a couple of years ago. But yeah, again, in these games, in these 5 games where Hurts is 1 and 4, Hurts has only completed 59% of his passes, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, passer rating 74.6. I think the Bucks, I know without Evans, it's going to still look a little funny, but like you said, Baker, he's been someone that, he always comes back with comeback power. I'm just curious. I'm taking the points for the Bucks. Maybe a sprinkle on the money line, just because this is a situation where I'm going to take trends on this one. I do like Philly in general, but the trends on this one, the Bucks run defense is definitely stymied in the past, and Hurts has proven that he can definitely throw the football. Again, the matchups aren't just the prettiest when it comes to coming into this matchup. It's not as clean. So I'll take the 3.5 points for the Bucks. I think the over-under can get interesting. It just dropped to 43.5. I'm curious if it does get the over because of, if the Eagles don't find themselves establishing that run early, the Bucks take out the run game early, and Hurts has to keep on throwing the football, and he's successful. I think that's something where that could definitely go. So I'll take the 43.5. Got to fix that. Just dropped on DraftKings. So I'll take that over to 43.5. And this should be a game that I'm not going to say it's a sneaky spot for over-under, but I think a lot of people might overlook this game just because some of the other pieces are, there. I mean, Sterling Shepard is still cheap. Ibuka, obviously, his price tag is, where it should be in this game. You got Keanu, who's going to be low owned. You'll have Baker Mayfield probably low owned as well. I do think he has opportunity to take advantage of the Eagles secondary, which for all the talk we had about them last year, improving and whatnot, they've not gone off to the best footing this season. So it really just comes down to me, obviously the trenches where the Eagles do have the advantage. But I do think that Baker can provide enough offensive firepower to at least do the 3.5.
Fair enough.
Next game we go. Talk about a game that could be just like the Ravens game a couple weeks ago with the Browns. We got the Browns getting 10 points here in a row going into Detroit. Detroit is favored by 10, and the line right now is 44.5 for the over-under. This game quickly, look, the Browns, if we're looking for a weird stack, if we're looking to get really different, if you think the Browns can have an opportunity in this game to hang because their defense is going to give them that opportunity, obviously Flacco will be low owned, Judkins at 5,500 will be low owned on DraftKings, like Tillman and Mixon, Judy, Lee Njoku, Jerry Judy. Harold Fannin. Like these guys will definitely be pieces.
No way that many Browns are going to be
not one lineup. I'm just saying the pieces in general. Pick from.
Yeah, I think like Joe Flacco is. I'm saying this, and of course he'll break.
I'm not starting that single QB league.
I think. Yeah, there's obviously there's pieces there for the Browns to play, but it's a situation where it's like a worse version than the Buffalo Bills, where you don't know where the ball is really going with all of the passing options that they have out there. I'm using air quotes. Yes, all the passing options that they have out there. All right. Some of them it could be garbage time, right? That could be how they get there. Could be garbage time, but now, man, I don't know, I'm staying away from any of the Browns here today. I think there's maybe 2 guys that I would be interested on the Cleveland side, and that would be Judkins. I would be interested in him. And then Njoku is somebody that obviously at the tight end spot, or him or Fannin, right? Those are really the I say three places that I would be looking at if I was going to get to anybody on the Cleveland side, which I am playing some GPP today. So I do have a sprinkle of a couple of those guys in there, but not players that I'm adamant about in any respect about getting into my lineups. And then on the Brown side, obviously, like you have like Jahmyr Gibbs and you have Amon-Ra. Those are the two names that really pop. Obviously, the one interesting stat, though, or a interesting stat, I should say, about the Browns is so far collectively as we go into week 4, and this could be something that balloons up to a bigger number, but right now they have held opposing running backs to a total of 128 rushing yards this season. So
Yep.
I know we all love Jahmyr Gibbs, right? And maybe it's the rushing game, or maybe it's actually the passing game. Where he actually shows up today, like in that space. So I think that's something to keep an eye out on. And then on the Lions side as well, Jared Goff, man, been killing it. He's looked really good so far this season. He's back at home, which I think we all know, like when we look at his splits, like he plays much better at home than he does on the road. He played really good on Monday Night Football, take down the Ravens. So far, 19 of 23 for 168 yards and 3 touchdowns against man coverage. So you mentioned it, man, like maybe this is like the Ravens game here, but like on the DFS side of things, man, like the Browns, I'm so glad Justin Jefferson fell down. Holy crap. But the Browns is obviously a defense that like you might want to keep in mind. But the other thing about this too is like we know what the Lions like to do. If the Lions start beating that ass, they are going to beat that ass to the ground and drop 40 on you. So if they can keep it close, right, like that's a really good cheap play for the Browns. And then the Lions up top is a really good play because I just think like not even about the Lions defense. I think it's more about the Browns offense and what they're going to not be capable of doing. So I like both of these defenses kind of in a nutshell, like when we talk about DFS on DraftKings and on FanDuel.
Yeah, totally. I just think there's a spot where I guess Detroit just coming in really hot.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I just think they keep that rolling. I just don't know how you put Lamar Jackson in a blender, 7 sacks last week. Like there can't be a letdown spot after that, right? Defensively for Detroit. So I'll say Detroit's gonna cover here. The over-under is going to be interesting. Like, kind of reminds me of last year where Tennessee came into town. They kind of gave them a fight in the beginning, and then all of a sudden just really trailed then. It's kind of similar situation to what I'm seeing from last year. So give me Detroit, give me the over-under to take them to cover as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you with Detroit. I'm taking them as well, man. So let me go ahead and fill that out too.
Nice. Doing it live, baby. Doing it live.
Doing it live.
So we got Carolina going to New England. Carolina's getting plus 5.5. Heading into New England. Over under right now, as far as it stands, is still 42.5. What I like about this game is that I just think New England has an opportunity to really showcase Trevion Henderson. People have been waiting for Henderson for weeks.
Yeah.
They obviously the Stevenson fumbles and the Antonio Gibson fumbles led to more Henderson taking more of that backfield shares late last week. And he was getting first team reps, first team touching the ball, all this type of stuff, all this, Fugazi stuff going on until we see it on the field, right? So if you have Henderson, if you have a flex out worthy opportunity, I think you definitely need to start him this week. Carolina coming into this matchup, they are 25th ranked defense against the run. They are allowing 5.7 yards per carry. So again, like this is a script where New England should be taking advantage of the run. I'm not buying into what Carolina did last week. Atlanta just did not give them any type of push offensively at all, which was so weird to see. So give me the Patriots, give me them to cover, and give me the over here. What are you saying?
Yeah, no, I'll ride with you with this with the Patriots as well. I
hate to say that, but
yeah, but I don't really care after, I got over myself last week after, the Steelers win.
I got over myself after they won.
Yeah, I got over myself after they won. But no, like I agree with like everything you're saying.
Yo, what is Hawkinson doing out there, yo? Minnesota looking mad to us out there.
Yeah, you're a little bit behind me, but yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
Am I? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm with you as far as like the Patriots go. I think this is just a really good opportunity for guys like Drake May, guys like Travion Henderson. Pass catchers, we don't know, and that's always going to be one of the downfalls of a team like New England that spreads the ball around as far as pass catchers go. We just don't know who it's going to be. So a lot of options if you're looking in the GPP world, Keyshawn Boutte, Steph Diggs, Hunter Henry, like those are definitely some plays, obviously, on that side of things as well. And then Drake May, actually, man, like he's having a really good year so far. Kind of living up to what we thought he would be, what he would be doing, killing the game against zone coverage. The Panthers play the third highest rate in the NFL, so I think this is another opportunity for him from a passing side of things. I think we all know about his athleticism, but I agree with you, man. I think this has got to be a spot for Travion Henderson, bro. If not, then win. Like, if not, then win. However, I am going to look at it on the other side and say that, about the missed tackles for the Patriots. 35 through the first 3 weeks. That's the third most in the NFL. So maybe this is an opportunity for I got Chuba Hubba to get going, or Uncle Rico, depending on what happens. It could be an opportunity. Jatavion Sanders isn't playing, so Tommy Trimble is out there lighting the world up playing wide receiver. So this one, a lot of things could go a lot of different ways. Like, this is definitely a wild card game for me, as far as from the DFS side. But I do like Drake May, and I did doing the research earlier this week and kind of building things out. The Patriots running backs specifically was a place that I landed on as far as like, all right, data shows that like the Patriots should have an advantage here in the run game. So it'll be interesting to see, but I am putting my money where my mouth is, and I am playing some Travion Henderson. Actually, I'm playing quite a bit of them this week. 5% owned so far at this point on DraftKings. So I think
really,
yep,
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna pound the table on that.
Yep. I'm here for it. I'm here for it all. So give me the Pats. I'm with you, man. I'll take the Pats and the points on that one.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. I definitely see that number changing another hour or so. Has to.
Well, even if it changes, man, like the thing about it is,
I'm still on it either way.
And it's not like right, like it's not gonna balloon to like 25 or anything like that. And he's in the same range, right, as Cam Scatterbo, which obviously we'll talk about that game a little bit later on as well. But just a nice way to get different from players in that price range. If you're playing in GPPs or obviously if you're playing with buddies or whatever, just a nice way to get different.
Yeah. On to a game that doesn't excite us at all. At least on paper. Yeah. Saints getting 14.5 going on the road to Buffalo. Over under, I believe that number changed overnight as well. I think it's 49.5 now. I think, or is it still 48? No, it's still 48. For some reason, I think that Rams game actually changed now. Either way, over under right now, 48.5 according to DraftKings Sportsbook. Look, the Saints don't come in pretty. What I will say, though, is that there will be volume to be had for the Saints game. When it comes to Shaheed, when it comes to Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave. I'm curious about Alvin Kamara. He has not been getting deployed like we've seen in the past, in terms of like just getting peppered with targets.
No.
So I don't understand that one. Is it really just, again, like Kellen Moore just trying to continue to keep this offense more vertical? I'm really curious about that for our season-long leagues, because if you have Kamara and you're expecting to be a nice RB2, like consistently, it just has not happened. For the Buffalo side, like, what else can we say, right? James Cook's going to keep on making us say his name, right? Obviously, Josh Allen. I just don't know if the Saints are going to push them in this matchup. So this could be a spot where it could be like, Josh Allen doesn't really be Josh Allen. Like, he somewhat has to get pushed in some matchups to really give you that great ceiling, like Baltimore week 1. So it's obviously we're starting him, we're starting James Cook. You have them both. It's the pass catchers. Dalton Kincaid has really showed up. And outside of Keon Coleman week 1, like he hasn't been showing up. Palmer, same thing. Elijah Moore. So it's just a weird spot outside of Josh Allen and James Cook. If you have some Saints players, I still recommend you start Olave, Juwan Johnson, stuff like that. From a betting side of things, like 14.5, even though it's at home, it's a bit tough because there's a ton of ways it can go back door. But in this situation, I'm not gonna get cute. Give me Buffalo. The points I'd probably tease down to 7 just to be safe. But the over/under could probably come in under just because if Buffalo's not getting pushed, I just don't see them being so. They could get Ray Davis the ball a bit more in this matchup if they're up big, just like where Seattle was up against this Saints team last week when they're at home. So give me under in this matchup. I just don't think Buffalo's going to get pushed that hard. And the chat is jumping, I see. Is Baker going to play? Yeah, of course he's going to play. I didn't see any news that he wasn't at all.
Yeah, Baker, man, like the only way that guy wouldn't play, man, is if he was like that.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious, yo. I don't know how you do that, but maybe they were scared because the Vikings put so much defensive points last week. But
probably so. Probably so.
And do I go X or gold in full point PPR? I'm assuming you got to explain that X one. I'm assuming it's worthy.
I was about to say probably Xavier.
Assuming worthy, but you'll have to give us more context. And we'll get that question for you answered. But Johnny, anything else you wanted to add to this Saints game before we move on?
Yeah, just like Kamara, you talked about him. One of the things that actually obviously is noticeable is obviously his so it is Worthy. So I think Worthy's the play for you, man, like in that space, if you ask me. I think that's the play. If he's out there, you got to play him in that space for sure. So like the one thing like about Alvin Kamara so far this year is he hasn't been getting peppered with the targets. Obviously, the rushing aspect of things hasn't been like anything to write home about as well. 3.7 yards per carry so far. Yeah. But like the one area that like he actually has done really well, and you kind of mentioned it, like the why behind the passing game mishaps, I guess, if you will. If there's been any success so far for Alvin Kamara, it's been him versus a light box. He's ran against, I believe he's ran against more light boxes than anybody in the league at this point. And a lot of that has to do, obviously, like with game script, right? Like if they're down, like they're going to be passing. So that's one thing, like I'll say, like as far as he goes, James Cook, a rushing touchdown in 7 straight games here. So he's doing his best Kyron Williams impersonation from last year. So I think like we obviously have to pay attention to that. And then like just to add like a little bit more context just from the betting side of things, right, with the Bills, Josh Allen is 8-2 when facing a winless team at home. So like this is just almost a spot where you almost can't help but not play Josh Allen in that spot. But however, just to note, like a couple of injuries on the Buffalo Bills side, Matt Milano and Oliver, both are out today. So just something to keep an eye on. But James Cook is actually a guy, like he's one of my favorite DFS plays this week. I think like we're starting to see, and you kind of hit on it, man. Like, Josh Allen is really only unlocked when the Bills need Josh Allen. And this should be a spot where they shouldn't need him. So like, give me all the James Allen, James Cook that I can handle. Like the Bills are just about in the top 10 in every single rushing aspect in the NFL outside of rushing in the red zone. But every other aspect, every other, advanced metric in the NFL, the Bills are in the top 10. So give me James Cook, give me the Buffalo Bills today at home. Nice survivor pick, by the way, if you haven't already taken them.
The Saints are, that's definitely a great. Rip talked about that the other day too. Like, it's a great survivor pick. If you haven't used Buffalo yet, like this should be the spot where you should use them for sure. Next game, Chargers, Giants. Chargers getting 6 points as a favorite, a road favorite, going into New York to take on the Giants. Over under 43.5. Quickly, because this is just a setup spot for the Chargers offense. I know it's the West Coast going to East Coast time difference, stuff like that. This game, I'm trying to wrap my head around, Jackson Dart obviously starting for the Giants today. Going with that move, which makes a ton of sense in my opinion. I think Jackson Dart could be running for his life in this one against the Chargers. Because obviously we know the Chargers defense has been so stout already this year. And I just think game script is going to call for Marion Hampton to come out and ball out. So give me the Chargers. they'll cover the points. The over-under is going to be a bit interesting. I'm just trying to figure out how the Giants will get their points up on the board, like broken play by Jackson Dart, just trying to figure out offensively. Malik Neighbors is going to get obviously peppered with targets, 7K on DraftKings. Definitely a contrarian spot because I don't think people will use him enough. Just definitely curious how you see this overall.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, I agree with you in the fact that like the Chargers have been stout, and like honestly, like for my money, man, like I think like you can make the argument, man, that the Chargers have looked like the best team in football so far through 3 weeks.
Totally.
You could definitely make that argument. So I think
one of the elite teams, yeah.
Yeah, like for sure. So I'm looking at this thinking like, all right, Omarion Hampton has been the play, like no doubt, like looked at that earlier in the week and was like, this is a really good spot. The only thing, like, I will caution people, and I'm not saying like that this is going to happen, but this is a caution. And so, like, this is
any given Sunday.
It's not even about the any given Sunday. It's my caveat is that when teams make a change at quarterback, and especially if it's a guy that like, kind of raises the level or potentially raises the level of everybody, that team could be playing through the roof today. So like this could be a trap spot. Like overall for
it's possible, yeah.
For DFS, for betting, like it could be a trap spot. I've said it all year long. Like I think the New York Giants defense is a lot better than what people give it credit for. So I'm kind of looking at it with that caveat, and I agree with you about Malik Neighbors. I think like a lot of they're like projected wise, he's coming in at like 9%. So a lot of people aren't playing him. I did make a couple of handmade lineups on DraftKings. And I did intentionally make one to start off like with him as like the core piece, because I do believe, and we've seen it, like if this turns out to be one of those Malik Neighbor games where he gets, 12, 13 targets, like he could potentially break the slate. Then I'll look at the other side of things. And I said this last Sunday night when someone asked, I'm also playing the LA Chargers #1 wide receiver, Quentin Johnston, today. I'm playing him, and I'm playing him with confidence, and I'm playing a lot of them today. And then just trying to find ways, right, to be able to work in like, Keenan Allen, like in certain spots. GPP wise on FanDuel, I did obviously work in Lad McConkey. Cam Scatterbo, this is a scary spot, man. I think like we'll see what this is about today. Like I think, hey man, if he comes out and he balls out today, then I think like it's time to.
Then I'll believe that.
Yeah, same. Like I'm with you on that. Like I'll believe it, but like I just think last week was kind of an anomaly.
Check down Charlie last week. They literally Chiefs literally took away Neighbors. You can
yeah. I mean, listen, the one thing I will say about Neighbors though, last week though, man, like he looked nice out there with all his bling on and everything out there, man, on Sunday Night Football. I love me some Malik Neighbors, man, but he looked good doing a whole lot.
That's all he did.
I was about to say he looked good doing a whole lot of nothing last week. But yeah, and then obviously, like I think, right, like this is also like a place too where like in GPPs or just in general with DFS, it's always like a really, I don't want to say a big thing, but like obviously moving down to the lowest price quarterback on the slate. Jackson Dart is that. Jackson Dart could end up, we could get back on here again later on this evening and be like,
yep, he did.
The writing was right there on the wall, right?
Yeah, right.
So like that's another thing. And then Justin Herbert is also one of my favorite quarterback plays this week. So this is one of the games like I'm kind of leaning into more on the Chargers side, obviously, than the Giants. But give me the Chargers in this space. And I would say I think I'm going to take the under in this game. I feel under in this game right here because I think both defenses are really, really good. But I think obviously, man, Omarion Hampton, we've been waiting on this moment and we finally got it now as far as fantasy managers go. So
feeding for it.
Yeah, man, we got it. We got it, man. So give me the
we have Omarion Hampton.
Yeah, yes.
Like Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh man.
I know.
Love it.
Still a kid at heart. Last game we go to for the 1 o'clock games. We got Commanders going into Atlanta. Commanders are a slight underdog, a +1.5, going into Atlanta. Over under is 43.5. What I'll say about this game is that I'm just gonna say it. I've been kind of contemplating on it, but I'm gonna give us a nice little sneak peek into what I got for props today. I got Drake London over 5.5 catches. This has to be a bounce back spot for this Atlanta offense to get busy. The overall Commanders are dead last in coverage, passing coverage. according to PFF. And Drake London, this has to be a spot for him. In a spot where Atlanta was, in terms of just they put up a goose egg last week against Carolina, division foe. Like, they should come out angry. They should be coming out very angry. And I do like him in terms of betting props. He was unofficial at first, but now he's going to be part of the official bets today. But in terms of Atlanta, I do like the bounce back spot here for them. But Marcus Mariota starting again makes things more interesting here as well. Obviously, Mariota is still, really cheap on DraftKings. So you could totally go there. It'll probably be the chalk, low, in terms of the low owned prices. But I would say in this matchup, if I'm taking either one, I'm gonna go with Atlanta. Yeah. The only reason why is because I do believe in a swing of all right, we got our asses kicked last week. We got embarrassed. It was terrible. It was blah, 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 right? On the road even too. Now we're going back home cooking, stuff like that. We're going to get Michael Penix back to trying to do things with him in terms of, not putting so much pressure on him. We're going to try to get Drake London a lot more involved, keep Beach on receiving game. I think there's a lot to like for the Atlanta side of things. So I'm just going to take Atlanta to win the game outright. What do you say here?
Yeah, no, I think Atlanta's definitely the play. You mentioned just being at home. One of the call-outs is the Commanders have actually been the best or have ran no huddle at the highest pace of any team in the NFL at 59.8%. That's nearly double. That's nearly double of the next team, the Saints. So I'm probably going to go back and make sure to hammer home some Drake London. I did play some Kyle Pitts.
700 on DraftKings. He has to be a lock.
Yeah, I have him in some of my lineups on DraftKings, and earlier in the week he made my lineup my base lineup. So I'll probably go back and just try to kind of hammer that a little bit more for him. And then obviously, like I said, Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts is in play too, at tight end. You know what I mean? So I'm there in that space. And Bijan, you talk about a nice bounce back spot. I think this is a good bounce back spot for him. Although the Commanders have actually been pretty solid against the run this year. So might not be exactly where I go as far as Bijan goes, but and then obviously, man, like you said, Mariota, it's a revenge game. It's a revenge game. All right. What a weird space to be in for the Atlanta Falcons. Here comes
That's who though. That's who.
Yeah. Here comes a guy that was your starting quarterback, and then also too now for the Falcons, obviously you have Kirk Cousins on the bench. You talk about I'm not going to be too funny. I'm so hilarious sometimes. Oh, well, I mean, let's just say it. Listen, man, you want to talk about Eskimo brothers? What about Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins, Marcus Mariota, right? And obviously Michael Penix. Just a really, really unique situation there for sure. I originally thought I was all right, the Falcons, this is a good place to get to. But man, dude, the Commanders have been so good. They've been a lot better on defense, and I think you and I both realize, man. I already circled Atlanta. All right, I'm going to play it down. I'm going to take Atlanta straight up, but I'll take the Commanders and the points because maybe this is a close one here. Because I'm not going to fall for this last week, and I'm not saying the Raiders or the Falcons, right? But last week, my logic was nothing was different for the Raiders, right? There wasn't a change.
Atlanta's only going to win by a point. Jeez.
I mean, listen. Do you trust him? Do you trust him as much? Do you trust him?
I just believe in the bounce back spot.
Well, no, not believe because I believe it should be a bounce back spot. I agree with you. I believe it should be a bounce back spot. But do you trust that though? Do you trust it?
I believe I have to trust it because that's just my instinct. I'm gonna trust my instinct on it.
Yeah.
Could we come back in a couple hours and say the Commander said this they wall up Penix again. This is a spot I guess where I will either be proven really right or really wrong about Penix. Right? I think there was a time where we definitely like Michael Penix coming out of Washington, stuff like that. I just think it's a pivotal spot for him. I think if he can't get it done here, I think you need to start asking yourself some questions inside that whole organization about him. Not to the extreme, but it's you want to try to win games, right? I thought that was the whole point of trying to play football games. You want to go out there and win. And the Commanders, if they end up getting out of this game, being 1-3, again, souring off a loss to Carolina and stuff like that. Like,
you mean the Falcons coming off losing with 1-3?
Yeah, coming out 1-3 if they lose this game. And then heading into their bye, there could be some changes. Like, is what I'm saying. So that's where for me, like, I knew coming into the year that Penix may not be like as coming out to be as so potent, whatever. I just didn't think it was gonna be like this. To be honest.
So this is the last thing, like, I'll say about it, right? Because like that's like I'm just like looking at what I'm looking at. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, this is kind of wild.
Looking at what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's kind of like the math is mathing over here, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well, maybe I need to look at this differently, right? The Washington Commanders, so far defensively, number 1 in the league in pressure rate. Falcons offense number 14. Pass versus no blitz. Commanders are 18, the Falcons are 30th. And for context, the lower.
So you're saying the Commanders now?
Yeah, like that's why the point. Like, I'm still gonna take Atlanta like in this pool, and I'm probably gonna be like, why? But like, and from a sports betting side of things, like the Commanders, all of a sudden, bro, like they look really good on defense, and I think like we've seen what happened or what potentially could happen when the Falcons play a really good defense, right? And we've seen that on Sunday Night Football. So like,
true too.
I like who knows?
Definitely a pick'em game.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely a pick'em game.
I just want to make sure I'm calling out that like I'm not disrespecting, right? How good the Commanders have been defensively, and if we're talking about like DFS, like. Again, this makes me kind of like, oh, well, especially at their 3,000 on DraftKings. So something to be aware of. The top players in this space. Bijan, obviously, at 19% on DraftKings. Drake London coming in at 15%. And then the Falcons defense at 10%. And then on the Commander side, Zach Ertz is the highest owned option, on the Commander side at almost 9%. So, this might end up being a slugfest, and we might end up coming out of this situation going, you know what? Let's not forget that the Washington Commanders did play in the NFC Championship game last year, and they did upgrade in certain spots. And maybe even without Jaden Daniels, maybe they still are just a really good football team. So that's it. That's all I got, man.
That's totally possible as well. That's totally possible. 4 p.m. slate of games, we go to the first of 4. The first one, Colts going into LA, take on the rolling Rams. Colts are the rolling Rams. Colts are getting 3.5 on the road. They've covered this so far all season against the spread. In terms of being the underdog, they've covered that every time they've been the underdog this year. Rolling into LA, the 49.5. Adams should be playing for sure. What I'm seeing on all reports, there won't be any much limitations for him. That was something I wanted to look at before, looking at this game. And when it comes to this game, Daniel Jones, man, like Vanilla Vic, how we call him on this channel, 4th in the league in passing yards right now. Like, what?
Just like we drew it up in August, man.
2025.
Just like we drew it up in August, man.
That's like, I had to take a double look. What?
Yep, just like we drew it up.
Your boy Jonathan Taylor, bringing home the bacon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This year.
Yes,
so
sir.
There's a lot to like about the Colts. What I will say though is that the Rams getting 3.5 based on the way they've played, like, I don't mind it. I just think this is going to be one of those matchups where this could easily be like a shootout-ish type of game, as Vegas is kind of calling for. So, man, I just think that I'm going to take the Rams in this one just because I still love the nucleus. McVay, you got Stafford doing his thing as well. Like, Puka gets a matchup against Kenny Moore, who was just signed off the street a couple days ago, and he has to play up against Puka Nacua today.
I'm looking at the injury report, and I don't even know if he's even going to play, man. So like
Kenny Moore,
yeah. So like, obviously we'll find out. We'll find out. But like,
no. Whoever Puka Nacua is going against, like, I might just have to go reevaluate my prop bets.
Yeah, might have to, man. Oh my god! And can I just tell you how physically ill it makes me as a DFS player when I see players in like 30%? Like, it makes me physically.
I know the chalk is good today, though, in a way. You know what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, yes and no. Like the pricing, like he's,
I mixed up my name. It's Mike Hilton they signed. Sorry. Okay. Kenny Moore, the guy that had the injury, is what I was trying to point.
And listen, I know all too well. Listen, Mike Hilton, the one thing about that guy is he was an ex-Steeler. He ain't never been known for covering people. He's been known for known for blitzing, but he ain't been known for playing at cornerback. So that is going to be what we like to call a problem. But yeah, I agree.
We call a leak on defense. A leak.
Oh man,
the game he's called a leak. That's a leak over there.
Yeah. And Puka, man, like 7,900 on DraftKings, and I'm pretty sure on FanDuel he's actually the highest price player,
highest price receiver on.
So man, like that always makes me worried, just because like the only way like he really pays off his price is like if he is absolutely the best player on the slate, and obviously like a 50-point implied total. That says that like there's going to be a lot of points in this game. This is actually one of my favorite games to get to. And I think it's a lot of people's favorite game to get to, is like a lot of the stars in double digits. Actually, there's like almost 6 people in double digits in this space. Puka Nacua at almost 35%. Tyler Warren at 17%. JT, the NFL's darling at running back, at 15%. Kyron Williams at 12%. And then Tay at 11%, and then you have Adonai Mitchell, who's gonna be over 10%. So obviously everybody else is like right on board with us as far as players that we like. It's a great place to get back to Daniel Jones, right? Coming in at almost 5%. So if you want to go with him naked, I think that might be like a nice leverage play off of everything else that's going on in this game, and not like just kind of going along with the chalk. But yeah, I am playing like a lot of these pieces today. I am playing a lot of Daniel Jones today. I am playing some Kyron Williams today. Obviously, it's kind of hard to get away from Puka, like in the GPP side, but in my single games, I'm not going there, just because I want to be able to get to different pieces, because I do think that there's some other valuable pieces at wide receiver, and this might be like one of the few weeks that one of the last weeks we'll be able to get some of these guys like in nice pricing on DraftKings. And then obviously like Devontae Adams, like I love Tay, man, but like anytime like I see hamstring, it just makes me want to. So like, because obviously, man, like we know like it could be the second quarter and he could be balling out and pop. He could go out and and again, like for the record, Sean McVay in his games. So I don't know, man. Like I like this game a lot. I guess it's just like a really long-winded way for me to say it. I'm gonna keep rolling with the Colts, man. I'm gonna keep rolling with the Colts right now, just because like they've been doing it, and a lot of spaces too. When you look at them offensively, like they're really, really good, like on the offensive side. Like when you look at like a lot of like, again, some of the advanced metrics in passing, obviously they're in the top 10 in damn near every spot. And then even when you flip it over and you look at this team defensively, right, against the pass, like they're really, really good against the pass. And one of the knocks on the Rams has obviously been their lack of efficiency in the running game. So it's going to be good. So I think this game, the reason why for Kyron for me is it's more about the Rams running game, as they are significantly better than the Colts on the defensive side of the ball, like in that space. So I'll take that. And then again, like the Colts offense, their rushing offense, man, like we know what it's been. So I just think overall, man, big picture, like if it gets to like a shootout, I never thought I would ever bring myself to saying this, but I guess give me Vanilla Vic in a shootout out west, man. So
there you go.
Yeah. And so obviously taking the Colts in the points, man.
Okay. Sounds great. Sounds great overall. Jags and Niners. Yeah, I know, right? Jags and Niners. Jags getting 3.5 going into San Fran. Over under 46.5. what do you like about this game in general when it comes to the Jaguars defense right now has been really
Yeah,
been
that's what I was gonna.
they've been
That's what
getting
I was
busy.
gonna. That's what I was gonna say.
They've
Like
been
that's
getting
not.
busy
Yeah, that's not what you
on
would.
the low because a lot of
Yeah,
people aren't giving them that credit whatsoever.
yeah,
So
that's
they've been
like
on the low
we're
doing
on
their
we're on
thing.
the same page with that because
Yeah,
that was like one of the first things I was gonna lead in with was like the Jaguars defensively have been a lot better than the rest of the world wants to give them credit for, right? And I think that's just the recency bias from last year, right? Like they were really bad against the pass, but this year, like they're really good defensively. They are uh, actually first in the NFL in turnover differential, which is not. And like Trevor Lawrence hasn't
yeah,
even played good. I think like everybody can agree on that. So
it's
like that's
crazy. Yeah, they
yeah,
haven't
like
played good, and they're
yeah,
still
like
doing this.
yeah.
Like,
And meanwhile, we're waiting on Brian Thomas Jr. But don't get me started on that.
TikTok, TikTok.
Bro, oh my god, like it's so bad, man. But yeah, like I don't know, man. Like obviously like Christian McCaffrey is very popular play today, and he should be rightfully so, right? Just from the volume side of things. I think he actually I feel like he's like one of the league leaders in receiving as well. Just like overall, like not even like including like the rushing aspect of things, but he's popping up at a big 30% in this space. So like we talk about it. I know I've talked to you about it like before. It's like, with these projections and things, man, like all these guys, like they're all not going to hit. And it's really hard when these guys are really high priced to be like, all right, like 30% of this, like is going to pay off. So like, where can you go to get different, to get like similar value? So I don't know, man. I think it's just a scary spot for me. I am playing some Christian McCaffrey. Ricky Pearsall is the guy that I'm definitely playing a lot of him today because BCB is back. Brock Purdy. And then he's priced down too. Like he's priced down. Jawan Jennings is priced down as well. So a lot of the 49ers pass catchers, they're priced down in this space. But again, like as we talked about, man, like the Jaguars defensively, they have been low key pretty good. Meanwhile, yeah, there it is. Yeah. McCaffrey leads the NFL with 77 touches, which are the most through the first 3 games of his career. So, again, a lot of concerns like we had about him early on. Like he's answering those questions aggressively. So, yeah, man. I guess like in the space, like I don't know why I'm so long-winded this morning. Probably because I'm like running on little to no sleep. But I guess, man, like this makes me like obviously I'm going to pick the Niners to win the game. But like this makes me want to take the Jags like in this space, or maybe even like the under. It makes me want to take because I do truly think the Jaguars can hang with the 49ers today.
Definitely. I mean, Pearsall and Jennings, they both should be active today for this one. I know Jennings might be a bit more limited, they're saying.
Yeah.
Across reports.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, Brock Purdy coming back is definitely a good sign for the Niners. It's just more about this spot. Like I know the Jaguars, they've been opportunistic.
There it is.
Say that 10 times in a row. But yeah, like they've been opportunistic to get after turnovers and getting after a quarterback. And Brock Purdy definitely struggled with that when he last started week 1 against Seattle when they brought the pressure. So I guess in this spot, give me the Jags for the points. But I think the Niners still find a way to escape this game. Even if the Niners somewhat lose this game, like they still have one of the easiest schedules upcoming for the rest of the season. So it's not like a total panic if they lose this game. So, but give me the Jags for the points. I do think that at some point Trevor Lawrence got to get together. Yeah. Otherwise we're going to have to start really scratching our heads about him in general. So we'll have to remains to be seen what questions will be answered. On to one of the bigger games in terms of actual football prevalency. We got the Ravens and the Chiefs. The Ravens getting 2.5. They are a favorite on the road going into Kansas City. The over-under here 48.5 for this Ravens Chiefs matchup. So I believe I gotta double check that because let me double check that. I thought it was. Is it really 48.5? Double check that.
Well, I would tell you the reason why that makes a lot of sense is because the Ravens and Chiefs have combined for at least 49 points in 5 of their last regular season games.
Good job, John.
So 49 would make a lot of sense being the number. And the Ravens are.
Oh yeah, it is. For some reason, I thought it was like 46 or something.
No.
Like I was like, did I make an error last night? Like no. It's 48 and a half.
Yep. No, that makes perfect sense. And the Ravens are 0-3 when playing in Kansas City. So
yep. Yeah. Someone's got to give here.
Something has to give here. Yeah, man. And then just like obviously a couple other quick call outs just for the quarterbacks, like as well. Mahomes has never had less than 290 yards when playing the Ravens. So
6K on DraftKings. What do you think about that?
I did not play him. And I actually took him.
I'm just curious, though. Yeah. I'm really curious to play Mahomes at that spot, though. BK is on the IR now.
Man.
Like this defense, I'm curious how they're going to create pressure for the Ravens in this matchup. We know offensively, like, the Ravens aren't going to shy away from this spot. Like Lamar, obviously going to do his thing. But I would say, like, I'm curious to see, like, how the Ravens will now generate pressures. And how Mahomes can't. I mean, what we're asking for Mahomes is what, 6K price. Normally Mahomes is way like another $900, sometimes more, $1,000 more most times. And a spot like this, 6K. I know he doesn't scramble a lot, but I know the Chiefs gonna have to hang in this game somehow, right? We just don't know who to stack him with. Is probably the real question. But 6K. What's the ownership projections for him right now? By the way. He has to be less than 10 right now.
Oh, he's actually no, he's I shouldn't say he's popular, but where did he go? No, so he's 4% on DraftKings.
Would it be crazy to say Mahomes throws 4 touchdown passes, 300 yards passing today? Would that be crazy to say? Or is it because of recency bias and all the stuff that's happened, like that people aren't satisfied with on paper right now? That it's that. I mean, I think to me he's the ultimate GPP play today.
I could see how he didn't make my player pool today, but I could see how he could be. I still believe that even with everything that's going on with the Ravens, they are absolutely starting to destroy Carson Wentz now. The Steelers are. I love it. I just think that the Ravens only having one win right now.
That's crazy to say, though.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound weird. That sounds weird to say.
Only having one win. I just find it really hard that they leave Kansas City 1-3. Like, I just have a really, really hard time. Like,
this is coming from a Steelers fan.
It is. Like, I take that, I take down my bias, like my unbiased. Oh my gosh, they just picked him off. DJ.
Yeah.
Let's go. Forget about it.
Like it's like pure trash right now.
No, I love it. This is what I signed up to watch. Was this right here? Not what we put out there.
That we said last few weeks.
Yeah. No, this is what I signed up for. But yeah, man, like I find it really difficult. I do like Lamar a lot in this space, man, because I think like this is like, this is a place where I feel like he's getting ready to be like, all right, like
I'm about to spin.
Let's go. And he's he's I believe he's the second highest priced quarterback on FanDuel and I believe on DraftKings as well. But that price and the guy that I hate so much, Zay Flowers. The guy that I hate so much, like I'll even play him this week, man. I'll play him this week because he traditionally has done okay against the Chiefs, right? So, like I said, Mahomes has had that, and then the other thing, maybe I don't know, I don't want to steal your prop or anything, but Lamar Jackson has ran for over 100 yards in both of the Ravens' last 2 regular season games against the Chiefs. So, like, Lamar Jackson is definitely going to be.
Yeah, we got
yeah.
Talking about right now.
Got the
line on FanDuel.
He's gonna be Action Jackson today. Yeah, he's gonna be Action Jackson today, man, for sure.
It's only we have to. We can ladder this up if we need to. Yeah. But I do think it's one of those games where, because of the fumbling issues with Henry and stuff too, like this kind of opens the door for like, all right, Lamar, bro, like if you see something, you got to go and, you know what I'm saying, you got to go and attack this defense because we already know the Chiefs defensively, like, you know, they've had somewhat their way with Lamar in some ways, but also it's like they've been, you know, ripped in terms of statistics. So that's definitely a play for the prop shop today for sure. So no thunder taken. But yeah, look, I guess the spot for me, I guess what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Like I have a hard time like the Ravens going to a 1-3 record. Like all hope's not lost, but it just seems really weird that like they would go to 1-3 in the season. And their only win coming against Cleveland at this point. Like they had the game against Buffalo, blew the lead. You know what I'm saying? Detroit just got on them. Like I have a hard time myself saying the same thing. But the Chiefs on the other side of the coin, too, it's like for all the stuff that's been happening with them, I find it hard for them to actually like, oh, Christian Gonzalez is active today. It's going to be a long day for the rookie now, I guess. Dang, I just traded for Tedder McMillan in a few leagues. But side note. Yeah, I'll say the Ravens here. I think I believe too much in this offense right now to where it's like they can't get together. The only reason why the Chiefs I feel like have been doing it, you know, as well as they have been is really this defense has been, you know, carrying somewhat the load. And again, I feel different about this offense once Rashee Rice comes back because that should give them a better lift and upgrade here. Worthy coming back is interesting, but it's like, your underneath is going to be Juju Smith-Schuster. It's going to be, you know, again, the wash Travis Kelce, unless he all of a sudden snaps his fingers and comes back to Travis Kelce of 3 years ago, like today in this matchup. Find it hard to get there. So give me Ravens to cover. The over-under is going to be a slight under for me. I do think it's going to be a 24-20 or 24-17 bout type of thing here in this matchup. So I
got two things before we move on to the next one. You talked about Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
So why not Tyquan Thornton in DFS?
Sure.
In GPP? Like, so that's one thing like I'll throw out there. And the other thing on the Ravens side, Lamar Jackson this year. 54 of 75, 722 yards, 9 touchdowns, no interception, a quarterback rating of 141, and a completion percentage of 72%. Play Lamar Jackson.
You're not sold me all on that, but you're telling me all that to be on the
I was just looking at it and I was like, wow, dog. Like, and yeah, like, then I think like, just for context, right? Like, just for context, like you said, the Browns, the Lions, and the Bills, like 2 definite playoff teams, right? And arguably one of the better defenses in the NFL. Like Lamar Jackson is already playing out of his mind already, 3 weeks into the season. So just figured I'd call that out.
That's fair. Last game of the 4:00 and the last game we'll be breaking down the Bears and the Raiders. Unfortunately, the Bears are a slight underdog going into Las Vegas. Over under is 47.5. Talk about your guy Caleb, the Bears.
Yeah, man, I think this is just like, again, man, like this is a really great spot for them. The the Raiders have been in games all year long where there have been a ton of points that have been being scored. Rome Odunze is already busted out of the seams already this year. Excuse me. So yeah, like I just like I love this game environment here because like there should be points scored in this game aggressively for both sides. Like you just seen what happened. Or I shouldn't say you've seen what just happened, but the Bears they've been a little bit vulnerable to the tight end. So obviously Brock Bowers has been quiet over the last couple of weeks. So I think that's a really good spot. And then a lot of people like Jacoby Myers is one of the favorite plays on in DFS, like in general this week at the receiver position. So I think it's just a nice way to be able to get off of him. A lot of people are looking at Ashton Genty as well, like looking at this as like a come out party for him. We'll see how that goes. And then like a couple places like I've been liking to get to is Cole Kmet at tight end. He's a guy that's a guy that like, I stopped playing best ball. I think I probably did like 30 best balls. Really after like Scott Fishbowl happened, I kind of stopped playing stop drafting best balls. But Cole Kmet was a guy that like I just kept taking as one of my later picks. And the reason why is just because like traditionally, right, like we never know what's going to happen with rookie tight ends. So I just kind of made it a point to be like, all right, well, even like with Cole Kmet being there, and even with Colston Loveland being there, both of those guys should play because Cole Kmet is somebody that they paid. And obviously, like we always say, like, hey, like, you know, if they pay the player, like they're not paying him to sit on the sidelines, right? Like they're paying him to play. So that's one place like I'm definitely looking at. I think it's a cheap out at tight end, right? Like it's a cheap out in a game environment that we know could explode. Like other than the Rams game, I think this is like one of the more favorite games to get to. And then, you know, talking about Brock Bowers, Geno Smith has faced the fourth highest pressure rate in the NFL. So obviously I think we know what that means. That just means quick drops for him, quick drop offs to Brock Bowers, right? So I think that's a thing. And the other part too, man, like just some other really like unique places for me to be able to get different in this space. Like I think the Bears offer a lot of uniqueness as far as from a DFS side of things. You know, you can get to DeAndre Swift, who's at 10%. And he's like, I believe he's like the sixth highest owned player in this space here. So like you can get there with him. And then the guy we were texting about last week, like DJ Moore. DJ Moore coming in at 5%. Could be a really nice game for him as far as like, I don't want to say a bounce back spot, but just a spot to provide value at 5,600. I think it's still there. I think, you know, they got to figure out a way to kind of incorporate him into this offense a little bit more from the passing side of things, especially if the Raiders,
yeah, they do.
Know, yeah, especially yeah. Oh man,
I understand Roman's a talent, but my goodness.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, like I really like this game environment here. Like it features a lot of players that like I was really high on coming into the season. You know, guys like DJ Moore, guys like Jacoby Myers, right? Like those are, you know, a couple guys that like I was really high on. Roma Dunze I've always liked, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like he was like a guy for me. Because in most drafts I ended up taking Calvin Ridley over him, and you know, maybe Calvin Ridley decides to show up to work today. But yeah, man, like I think this is just a really good game environment all the way across the board with two defenses that you know, leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah, both of these defenses suck. Just to put it quite frankly. So the over is definitely in play here. This Bears defense, I thought they'd come in as a better unit defensively. They allowed 31 points per game now.
That's wild.
That is wild to me.
That's
like,
wild.
What? Really? This Bears defense? Yeah. But hey, look, the Bears have averaged 25 points per game. So this should be a spot where Caleb Williams should be able to go out and carve up these Raiders. And the Raiders side of things will be on Geno Smith to basically keep up with this. Like you said, I think it will be Trey Tucker day again. Will Lightning strike twice? I don't know. 3 touchdowns? I don't know about that.
Hey, man, one thing about it, 2 things for sure. He'll be on the field.
People are chasing it.
Well, he'll be on the field. So, like, in a game environment like this, like, I think we know, right? Like, it definitely is a real thing. Like, if you think back to the Dallas game, right? There was definitely, like, some opportunities there for secondary pieces. Trey Tucker is a secondary piece. So, season long, it makes me kind of cringe to play him. Unless I'm just like like in an absolute like have to, like if you're in 14 and 16 team leagues and like you gotta do what you gotta do.
The highest pickup of the week.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this one here for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, give me the Bears in this one to take care of business here on the road and the over. To the prop shop we go, getting back to 500 almost, 13 and 15 on the year. So we're getting through 3 weeks. So look, not gonna sugarcoat it, just gotta get better. So I got some spots for us. Some will be on FanDuel, most should be on DraftKings. But let's get to it. We already talked about Lamar Jackson over 44.5 rush yards on FanDuel. This was the better line when I took it. And that's just what it is. You know, Lamar, like you said, has creamed the Chiefs defense. He just finds ways to get over this number relatively with ease. You could ladder this up if you want to. I'm just taking the safe route, going 44.5 rush yards. for Lamar Jackson. Trevion Henderson. We've been waiting for this moment for quite some time. For really weird that the line didn't move even further for his rush yards. For Trevion Henderson, over 38.5 rush yards on FanDuel. I think I saw 40 on DraftKings, 40.5. So either way, I talked about it earlier. Panthers are they have given up 5.7 yards per carry this season when it comes to running backs, and they allowed combined yards. Like they allowed ETN to do this to him, and obviously Bijan Robinson did this to him as well. Like this is just a spot where I just like Henderson, like clearly just for the easy, 3.5, 38.5. You could obviously ladder this up as well. You could take the rushing receiving yards. I almost took that as well, but I'm just going to go with the safe route and take 30.5 rush yards. Hampton, 70.5 rush yards on DraftKings. The Giants ranked 26th and 30th in EPA per rush and success rate. They allow 1.6 yards before contact on running back rush attempts. So this is a spot where Hampton, we already know, is going to get the workload here. Definitely projected to do that. Son Haskins, who has been a hack in not a good way since he's been in the league. He just got signed, so I don't see him, getting too many touches. Maybe they have Ronnie Vidal still come up. I don't know, but it's Hampton's backfield. And this should be a spot where even if the Chargers find themselves not coming out as hot, like Hampton's still going to get the touches to get this over, in my opinion. James Cook over 77.5 rush yards on DraftKings. Like, James Cook obviously is someone that, for whatever reason, I just have not gotten enough of in my season-long leagues. But James Cook is someone that he should be definitely focused on, because obviously in a game where they're favored by 14.5, what do you think is going to happen? Josh Allen, of course, I'm saying you definitely go there as well. I didn't look up his line, but I definitely would get behind that as well. It's just, again, like Josh Allen, there's just certain guys who just need to be pushed, and Josh Allen, like, he needs to be pushed by the other team to really kind of, get enough of that stuff going. Otherwise, it's like, it's going to be, the pick here for James Cook. So James Cook looked really phenomenal, and I don't have regrets about where my analysis was on him before the season started, but he was someone that, in the range where you would get, where Henderson was going, and Hampton and stuff like that, he should have been going for sure. So there's that. And then Drake London, over 5.5 catches. Talked about it earlier. Commanders pass defense, no bueno. And Drake London, 5,700 on DraftKings is definitely a lock for my lineups. I just think that Atlanta has to find him, the football. And Drake London still is 8th among targets in the NFL right now. So I just like Drake London here in this spot from a betting side and DFS side of things. So there's that. So that is pretty much the show here. If you ain't following us on Twitter, we call it Twitter because we old.
Straight up.
X, what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? Like, just make sure you dive in. Come with the questions tomorrow because, tomorrow. We're live after the Sunday afternoon games. Give us like 7:15, whatever. We'll talk about the recap of the games of Sunday. We'll talk about the Sunday Night Football matchup, the Packers and the Cowboys. We'll have a few props for you as well in that game. So that being said, any final thoughts for you, Johnny?
Nope, my boys are kicking ass, taking names. Looks like Jalen Ramsey is
taking notes.
Oh boy! Oh man! Looks like Jalen Ramsey's hamstring tightened up on him out there.
Oh no!
Oh yeah! After he did the fake hammy celebration, I'm like, yeah.
That's what you kind of get.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. No, I don't really have a lot, man. Like I said, I think this is definitely going to be like a really good week. Don't forget, man, we got 2 games this week on Monday Night Football.
Sure do.
I wouldn't really call them games, but I would say we have 2 pro teams playing football.
Should say 3 technically, but yeah.
True.
Technically 1, but I don't know.
Hey,
we have Monday Night Football doubleheader, baby.
Yeah, there you go. So good luck to everybody out there today, man. If you're playing me, second place is good enough. But if you're not, hey, cash. Hopefully everything we gave you today was something that could make it profitable, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the show this morning.
That's real. We'll see you guys later this afternoon when we come onto your airways once again. We out. Peace.